Yes.
but
Yes.
video.
Oh!
Video.
Oh!
And this could have just almost just been a complete radio because your camera was crapping out.
It was crapping out. Poo Nanny be still. Here we are. And it's a palindrome, motherfucker.
Ooh,
272.
272.
And you think it's just us.
Yeah. Who else would
It
be?
is. It
is just us.
Scheduling conflicts again have reared their ugly head, and it's just you and I today. But we're talking Andor and She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Which I don't think Cody has seen yet. So,
well, no, he was busy with the interview last night on Hannity.
Yes, he had to prep
over
Trump
there,
for that. He had to let her know. Look, if you think about it, it's declassified. That's all you got to do. Just
one
think
of his
it's
best
declassified.
lines Cody's ever come up with.
I mean, it's a brilliant move by Cody. A brilliant move. You think about it, it's declassified.
How can you not prove that?
Right. It's impossible to disprove. If you think about it, it's classified.
Cody's brilliant, man. Cody, I don't agree with his work, but he's good at it.
God, is he good? Is he good?
He's so good at it.
Do you think he writes Jordan Peterson's speeches too? Do you think he's...
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
man.
You can kind of tell Cody. You can kind of tell what he does. His work sort of speaks for himself.
And I think the funniest thing is, like, if there's a champion of the patriarchy, does it have to be the least toughest looking guy you could imagine than Jordan Peterson?
The guy who got the most shit kicked out of him
in high school. The guy who looks like he would just... imagine how quick that guy breaks if he gets a spiral thrown his way. Imagine how quick that guy...
he goes back to the house like, can you not throw it so hard?
Could you maybe not throw it so hard at me? I'm trying to just, focus on catching the ball. Could you not make it so tough of a pass? That's exactly what he would fucking say. And that's the guy.
Him,
oh boy, do they! Some dudes love just admit you hate women. why do you have to jump through hoops to explain why you like this? Just admit you're scared of women. That's it. Just admit women frighten you. So you found this guy. Like that's all. That's all you have to say. Look, I'm scared of women. He's my leader now. That's it. That's all you got. It's very simple. Women scare the shit out of me, so I started listening to this guy. I feel better about my fear of women. Oh man, here we go. Where are we going first here, pal?
I want to talk. I mean, I know we have Andor to talk about and She-Hulk talk about, but we had a little trip to Frankenstein last weekend.
Yeah, we did.
And
can I go get my game real quick?
Please go get your game.
Okay, shit, right back.
And so we went to Frankenstein. And we ended up on the long drive there. We had sort of a little, I guess we did a little deep dive into. It all started. I was letting them know the long drive we had and how we started with Poo Nanny Be Still.
Well, that's what we listened to on every trip.
And then we did that's the soundtrack. That's the soundtrack to Frankenstein. But then we did a deep dive into Poo Nanny. And we started seeing some of his other albums.
Which, if we thought Poo Nanny Be Still... Okay, so here, I'm just going to put it like this. If Poo Nanny Be Still is his Dark Side of the Moon...
Yeah.
Then his Wish You Were Here... has to be That Baby Ain't Black Enough. That's got to be his Wish You Were Here. Poo Nanny is,
and the album cover. And we thought the Poo Nanny Be Still album cover was.
I still think that's the one, but That Baby Ain't Black Enough.
They're both in the top 3
of all album covers ever.
Because you got Poo Nanny Be Still.
Yeah, it's Abbey Road. 2. Somewhere up there is Abbey Road, Poo Nanny Be Still, and That Baby Ain't Black Enough.
And for those of you who are too lazy to look up what That Baby Ain't Black Enough looks like album cover wise,
do we have
it? I don't know how to pull it up on this thing. Do you know how to work that?
Fucking Cody, man. All right, let me just see if I can. Here. Let's stall for time.
We're stalled.
That baby. What a fucking. I'm so pissed I didn't know who this guy was back in high school when I would have just... There it is. Poo Nanny. That baby.
He's in the delivery room.
In the delivery room,
wearing a bright purple shirt, which you wear when your baby's being born.
When your child is being born.
You wear your best clothes.
The backwards Kangol.
And the nurse or delivery doctor is there in her scrubs holding a baby, and Poonanny looks beside himself.
He looks very upset.
Very upset. And then in the thought bubble coming out of his head, it says, "That baby ain't black enough."
Fucking brilliant.
First words he thinks of when he sees his newborn child.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. That already made the Frank. And then we go to Toys versus Games.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo! I was able to score this little gem of the PlayStation 2.
Kingsfield.
The ancient city. I'm gonna play this motherfucker. I'm gonna play 1 through 3 first on the PS1 mini that I have, but then part 4. I ain't fucking around. I'm ready. I'm Poonanny Be Still. This baby is black enough.
Poonanny Be Still.
So yeah, okay. So basically, Poonanny is just he was already on our top recording artist all time. Really catapulted.
But then to go to do a deep dive into his larger body of work
and to see what else there is and how brilliant it all is. My word.
Puddin' and Tang.
Oh, just
brand new Cadillac.
So, and on Poonanny Be Still, it has lyrics. There's a song, I forgot, it would have shamed Bob Dylan, where he says, "With the way you're dressed up to go bowling, you got more than one ball on your mind." Come on. That's it. How is he not in the
greatest lyricist of the 20th century? Greatest lyricist of the 20th century?
Why are we limiting it to the 20th century, Eddie?
True.
Could Shakespeare have written that?
His work transcends time.
Could Shakespeare right now?
No.
I want you to tell me. Could Shakespeare have written, "With the way you're dressed to go bowling, it looks like you got more than one ball on your mind"?
I don't think so.
I know so. There's no fucking way Shakespeare puts anything that good together.
Oh, he doesn't.
Anything.
Right.
He's
timeless.
Stumped.
Poonanny is timeless.
Poonanny.
Ooh,
Poons.
Poonanny.
The poonsies.
That baby ain't black enough.
Rest in peace. We also find out he left our world a couple of years
2014.
ago. That was had we known, Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now he's spinning yarns in another plane of existence.
Up in heaven, he's up there.
Up in heaven.
So, holy shit! All right, look, I apologize.
Jesus ain't black enough.
Jesus ain't black. Look, I'm gonna apologize right now. The first 5 minutes of Andor were better than anything in Obi-Wan. The first 5 minutes. Jeez, okay. And look, I'm sorry to keep shitting on Obi-Wan, but I was trying to rewatch it and think maybe it's me. And man, I'm starting to dislike Book of Boba Fett too. You know what I hated about Book of Boba Fett the most?
What?
Were all the little radical biker kids with their Power Rangers bikes. Each one had to be a bright color. It was so fucking stupid. And then, so that was what I hated about a lot of what I didn't like about Book of Boba Fett. That was fucking stupid. Here's what I think makes Obi-Wan unforgivable for me as a series. Unforgivable. I'm like, when Flea catches Princess Leia, that horrific chase, one of the dumbest chases ever filmed, was bad enough. And then when Obi-Wan is escaping with Princess Leia and they just pull a little rascals and he just puts her under his trench coat and like 800 Imperial officers don't notice. That was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
He should have put her on his shoulders and then put the trench coat over there. I'm
an alien. I'm just a weird alien. It was the dumbest fucking... You're going to insult the audience that much. That's what I don't like, is you're going to insult the audience that much by saying, how do we get Leia out of this Imperial base with Obi-Wan? All right, how about he just covers her with his giant trench coat and nobody notices? It was so fucking stupid.
There are two parts. I agree with you. I did not hate Obi-Wan play as much as you did. I enjoyed the Darth Vader Obi-Wan stuff a lot.
I only enjoyed the time when they fought. the shit with Hayden Christensen where they try to Polar Express him, where he's like, he clearly is like 52, and he's like, "Hey, master," it was so fucking pointless.
I didn't mind that stuff. I didn't mind the flashback. I did not. I thought we spent too much time worrying about other shit when the series was about Obi-Wan and Anakin.
You didn't need Princess Leia at all.
No, at all. All you needed was the Inquisitors hunting Obi-Wan and him running and finally fighting Vader.
That's it.
That's what I thought.
But that was that thing where I told you about with that person who's a Jet fan. When I told you about them signing Tebow, that was my Obi-Wan moment when they cover her I'm like, if they don't care, I won't care. Like if they don't care that much to try to fix this.
Well,
if they give that little of a fuck about their audience and how dumb they think their audience is by having him put Princess Leia under his fucking trench coat to escape an Imperial facility. They walked past at least 200 Imperial employees. Nobody's like, wait a minute. It was so
well, it is hard to see in the Stormtrooper helmets. They do say that in A New Hope. It's hard to see in this thing.
It's a lot of people who had no helmets on walking around. It was, oh my God. I was just like, they're really insulting us this much.
Well, we know that series got backed up because they were going to, because I think they originally had the script settled and then they pulled it and then they were going to lose Ewan McGregor for 2 years. They were getting ready to shoot and then
they rushed it.
Then they pulled everything and Ewan McGregor's like, I got other stuff I'm working on. So if you want me, we got to do it now. So then they ended up rushing it. And I think they just ended up just throwing a lot of shit together on that.
And it shows.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. So I'm just saying, Andor, thank fucking God for Andor.
Andor is a nice change of pace for what we've been getting with Star Wars. Yeah. I enjoyed Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I like the Book of Boba Fett, though it has some flaws. Obi-Wan, I can cherry pick what I like out of it. But this one, it seems to be, it's a different take, and
it's you don't have to jump through so many hurdles to like it. You can
it's a different story. Yeah,
you can just watch it and like it. You don't have to like I do with Book of Boba Fett. What saves Book of Boba Fett for me is the Cad Bane shit. That
Cad Bane stuff. I like that the 2-episode thing with Mando.
The Mandalorian is great.
That was great.
But that's also kind of a detriment to Book of Boba Fett when.
That's because I thought they didn't have enough material for the 8 episodes. I think Book of Boba Fett could have been a 4-episode series.
But it also shows how weak your show is when you bring in the guy from the better show and everyone's like, "Oh, it got good." Like that. It's I don't know. I think it almost did Book of Boba Fett a disservice to have the Mandalorian in there because now you're like, "Oh, can we just watch this?"
I don't know why they did that because obviously they weren't going shooting week to week going, "Oh, the last week sucked. Let's bring in Mando."
Right.
They planned this out ahead of time, and I think that falls back on Dave Filoni going, "We want to combine everything and make everything interconnect." And I think you can't force it that way because it makes every product watered down and it makes you like you're trying to jam everything into a round square peg into a round hole.
Now I still like the Book of Boba Fett because of Cad Bane and the fucking Wookiee bounty hunter.
And I like the beginning. I liked him getting out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah,
I liked the first couple of episodes with the Sand People.
That was to me 1,000 times more interesting than what happened afterwards. Him learned that was all spectacular, and then I think it just falls apart once they introduce the radical, hey cool kids biker gang, and with the different bright colored motorcycle.
And I think that's just Dave Filoni trying to do a nod and wink to George Lucas and American Graffiti or some shit.
Yeah, and we don't need it. It was so fucking got
to do that. But anyway, that's all off the point. Andor, what I liked about Andor initially, the first thing I noticed about Andor as soon as it came on, before you started getting into the story, everything was just visually it looks cinematic.
Yeah.
Whereas, even the shows I like with Star Wars, Mandalorian, and others, they all look like TV shows. Visually, they look bright and clean and neat, and they look like TV show, like broadcast television.
Yes.
This one looked. There was a wash to it. It looked dreary. It looked cinematic.
Yep. And I love this built-in world they show of the. I love how good the world looked where he lived in this planet full of tinkers or whatever. You know what I mean? This planet full of just. Blue collar.
It's like it's like a world that's a scrapyard.
Yeah, it's fucking everything about that looks fucking awesome. And The fact that he was raised by the aunt from Harry Potter is even cooler. I love that. Like, yeah, it was, fuck, man. I'm like, good. Thank fucking God.
We're 3 episodes in. I'm really liking just, it's sort of different the way Rogue One was very different when we saw that. It's like, oh, this is a different part of Star Wars that we're seeing, and I like this.
That should exist. It's a massive universe.
We don't need laser swords and
for
wizards.
Everything. Yes, for everything. They don't need to be in every fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because you would assume with the way the Jedi are talked about in the 90% of the galaxy won't see one in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? 90% of the galaxy won't see a fucking
and
Jedi.
That's what's great about Andor is you see Andor. I mean, we only got 3 episodes, but you're starting to see why he hated the Empire, not because they wiped out the Jedi and he longed for the Old Republic, but because it's an oppressive regime and he's fighting against that. He doesn't give a shit about Jedi. That's not the fight. The fight is about not dark and light, Sith and Jedi. It's about control.
And I love too that we haven't even seen the Empire yet.
Yeah,
that's what's great is we've just seen.
We just saw
guys,
the mall cops.
They were the same dudes on Cloud City.
Yeah,
remember they were the guys who because remember Cloud City wasn't under Imperial control.
Yeah,
right until
it's rented out Imperial or like corporate police officers.
Yes, the corporate police officers. I'm assuming the Empire will now step in.
Yeah,
after
they'll put a sentry there and they'll take over that area.
I'll tell you one thing I do love about the look of the show too. I liked how the sergeant of the corporate soldiers looked like he was right out of A New Hope with those fucking mutton chop sideburns. Dude. And I liked how the guy in charge at the beginning, the older guy who's just like he kind of breaks down. Look, these were 2 morons who should He looked like he was straight out of A New Hope. That was a complete 1970s look. That was great. I like how they did that.
The outfits, like the computer monitors, like everything felt right out of 1977.
It was great. That was I can't wait to see where this is gonna go. I supposedly, and I hope this is true. There's 12 episodes, and each 3 parts have their own writer and director. Yeah. So it's like kind of a vision. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be any let's make it up as we go along shit.
Yeah.
It's going to...
You'll get some consistency for and there are many arcs and everything.
Yes, there's going to be little three mini arcs throughout the season. 4 3-point arcs throughout the end.
Nice.
I can't fucking wait, dude.
Yeah, I'm really digging it, and it's just... I'm a mark for Star Wars, so I'll eat anything they feed me. But this is really nice to have something different, something that feels different.
They finally gave you cheesecake. It's like, oh, good. All right.
I'll eat Twinkies, and I like Twinkies, but every once in a while, some Godiva chocolate cheesecake is pretty good.
I'm pretty much in the same place you are. But I'm just saying with Obi-Wan and Book of Boba, especially Obi-Wan, there was a lot of mold. You had to pick off your meal before you could.
I had to brush some ants off that crunch bar.
Yes, you had to get some shit off that. And then Boba Fett, a little less, but there was still some. Mandalorian, I still think has been fantastic.
Yeah.
But this one was finally like, oh, there's nothing. This meal is great.
Yeah,
I don't have to fucking pick anything off of it to enjoy it.
And it goes back to showing you like there's so much in Star Wars to explore that we don't need. Yeah, characters from the original trilogy every time we do a show.
Every single thing. And also,
we don't need a Boba Fett. We don't need a Obi-Wan. We don't need that all the time.
Now, here's my question. My one question about Andor. Does the brothel in the opening scene, does that get a Lego playset?
I hope so. I hope we get some Black Series.
Of the space. Who is...
some alien. Who is...
This alien space. Who is he was visiting?
I would love to have a Lego brothel.
I also love the idea that Andor came from a planet where there was, and spoilers if you haven't seen all 3, but there was no way Eddie and I were going to get to today without, if there's 3 Star Wars anything to watch in a row, it's going to be viewed. Yeah. And spoilers if you only seen the first one or haven't seen, but I love that Andor comes from a Lord of the Flies world.
Dude, it was great.
I love that, like, all their parents died in that mining disaster, and then
they're just fucked. They're here.
These children are left.
Yeah.
And they just fucking start their own society, like Lord of the Flies shit. That was fucking incredible.
And then that ship that crashed, you see the guys with so I guess that's the Republic insignia, or was it Separatist insignia?
I think it was Separatist.
Separatist insignia, and then the Republic was coming to clean it up. And
here's the only thing, and look, not to keep dogpiling on Filoni, but like, if Andor were done by Filoni, the spaceship, it would have been Han Solo. He would have walked out like, "Hey kids," like Chewie, look at these kids. Like, it would have been that, and like, oh god, Han Solo raised him for 5 minutes. They would have had, let's connect it.
Again, Filoni's big flaw is he wants to connect everything, and I don't mind connected shit. It's just you can't force it on everything.
Exactly. Like, it was. That's yes, but I mean, fuck, man.
Like, I was great watching Andor, and the only time I went ooh as I saw a Y-wing in the shipyard.
Yeah, that was great. Hey, Y-wing. Yeah,
but I didn't like. It wasn't like, guys, here's a Y-wing. It wasn't like into your face. It was just in the back there, like, oh, it's a Y-wing. Cool.
I do think they dropped the ball on the episode titles, just naming it episode 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I really think the first episode of Andor should have been called. You ready? He's a rogue one. Come on. Come on. He's a rogue one, this guy.
That guy's a rogue one.
I just think that would have been how do you not do that? It's anyway.
Because Tony Gilroy, I don't think, has a sense of humor in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's just all.
I think he is just fucking
like this. Look, this world sucks.
Yeah, there's no humor in this world.
There's no cutesy shit.
No.
It's fucking. So you don't think anyone's gonna say Misa no have no? There's no Gungans are gonna pop up.
Misa have no boomba.
No.
I don't think we're gonna get. I got a bad feeling. I don't think we're gonna get that.
Feeling about this.
I don't think we're gonna get that in this series. I'd be shocked if we did.
Yeah, it would be.
Because even in Rogue One, he only half said it, and they shut the door on K2SO.
Exactly. They're like, and I thought that was a great moment of. You want fan service, there's a million other places you can go for that. You want your little nod, wink, wink shit.
This is going to just be a good story set in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Now, so Andor, I give it 2 big thumbs up. Can't wait to see what happens. It could fall apart. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
We've seen things start strong and then
Boba
fall
Fett,
apart.
Great first 3 episodes, I thought.
Oh, my God. And then Boba, it doesn't.
It was just thin.
It
was just thin.
Yes, yeah, and
there wasn't a lot of meat on the bone.
We didn't need the bike. The biker thing was so the radical cool kid biker gang was so fucking stupid. It was right up there with Spielberg's Lost Boys from Hook or whatever, like that. It was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, but yeah, and then Obi-Wan, forget it. I want to launch that series into the sun. Maybe save for like 10 minutes.
I almost want them to do a season 2 and just have another crack at it. Where they work on it and they don't rush it.
Yeah, and they're like, which is all right. Sadly, whatever happened in season 1 happened, but
do what they did with Alien vs Predator, but make the second one even good.
Yes, exactly. Like, why don't we just do this again, but try to make it better? Oh, now She-Hulk. Boy, it is. This thing works as a sitcom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is each episode. I thought, okay, well, that one was like the funniest one, the one before. This was really fucking funny, man. Everything with her friend who was getting married, that was another hilarious character. Jesus Christ, did they make Immortal Man funny and valid? Mr. Immortal.
Know.
He was hilarious. He was fucking.
It's the ex-husband from Veep.
Yes. He was fucking when he just says, fuck it, and just dives out.
It's like, everybody, all these women are yelling at me, bye.
And you wonder, okay, well, no wonder he keeps getting divorced.
And we all can relate to that feeling of wanting to run out a window.
It's so fun. He can. And the fun thing is he's a lie. He can get away with it. It was, dude, oh my God. It's so much fun. And I think we saw Amadeus. I think we saw Totally
That has
Awesome
to be,
Hulk.
right?
I don't know. The guy Josh, who was kind of just hitting on her at the wedding,
I mean, are they obviously I don't know if we're gonna see totally
him
awesome
become
Hulk.
totally awesome Hulk, but maybe he is working with Leader, right? Maybe he is just a scientist who Leader hires.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I can
Because
just get a
he's
sample.
very forward at this wedding. He comes out of nowhere. Twice he's approaching her, like out of nowhere. And no one else approaches her.
Right.
No one likes her. She's toxic to everybody. Everyone wants away from her.
Right. And he's right there.
Yeah.
So
it's very strange.
So this could be an interesting way that he works for Leader, and then maybe he is like, wait a minute, when he sees actually what Leader, maybe he doesn't know what Leader's trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he works for him, but has never met Leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe he goes, wait, I don't want to be a part of this, right? And then
because that's how Leader worked in the original Hulk movie. No one had ever met. It was Mr. Blue and
or whatever.
Mr.
We all
Blue
thought
and
was
Mr.
like
Green.
either Mr. Fantastic or Captain America. Remember that? It was like it was like I wonder if that's Reed Richards.
And then
but
no one ever knew. And now I guess you saw at the end of this one in that final scene, it was the I forgot what the screen name was on the app thing, Mr. Hulk King or Hulk.
Right,
I forgot what it was.
But the laboratory, it looks like that's Leader's lab, doesn't it?
Right.
The laboratory, of course, he could afford one and make one. But the fact that it's a laboratory, I think, helps shoot down the Kingpin theory.
Yeah, I don't think it's Kingpin.
I mean, of course, Wilson Fisk could afford to put one up, right, and just fill it with brains. But I don't know.
Unless he's working in conjunction with Leader.
Maybe.
Maybe he's hired Leader.
Why Leader would give a fuck? You know what I mean? That's the thing. You might be right. I don't know why Leader would care to have, or vice versa. I don't know.
And again, the only reason we're talking Kingpin is like we're trying to justify Daredevil.
Now we saw maybe it's just the costume. It might be that.
Yeah,
simple.
but they have FedEx in this world.
Right. They can just. But what if that's the only cameo?
Steve Rogers FedExed the cell phone to Tony Stark at the end of Civil War, I believe.
But what if that's the only? If the show is fucking with us a little bit, what if that's the only Daredevil cameo? It's just the helmet.
Just the helmet. That other scene was just made for the preview.
Right. That's it. So yeah, it's really.
I just love how every episode we're getting like 2 or 3 new characters sprinkled in, and they don't.
Wait a minute, who's this? Who's
this? And then you immediately Google afterwards, and you're like, oh, yeah, and Mr. Immortal, the Great Lakes Avengers.
Yes, the Great Lake Avengers, and a mutant.
Yeah. Again, mutants are in this world, and we're not getting like first Miss Marvel. Yeah. And now Mr. Immortal. So how are we getting mutants? What's the origin of these mutants? Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from? I mean, Professor X being in Doctor Strange was like oh God, they're going there.
Yeah.
Right? It's already happened.
But again, that was a multiverse.
But that's another universe.
Earth 616 or whatever has never had mutants or whatever Earth we're in.
In WandaVision, it was implied that she was a mutant, right?
It was implied that she had latent powers.
That the stone just kind of boosted.
Because she was able to stop that bomb from blowing up when she was a kid.
Right.
But when she was exposed to the Infinity Stone, one of the Infinity Stones, her powers grew. So maybe again it goes back to that: are these really the children of the snap or whatever? And when Thanos did that snap, or when Tony Stark did that snap, maybe that activated mutants all around the world.
That would be great.
Everyone had that latent power, and it just sort of.
So maybe she was just so strong, right, that she was able to use it as a child.
Yeah.
And then now that it's woken up, she's one of the most powerful characters.
That's how
in the
strong
MCU.
she is.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get a long exposition scene when we get Professor X, where he explains how the mutants came around.
Like, yeah. Oh man, I'm excited. And when also, I mean, Namor, that's another mutant.
Right.
And Wakanda Forever, they just show you him being born. They're like, here he is. Here's a mutant being born.
I don't know how they're going to, because they've been very particular about how they've explained origin stories of all these characters, and this is the first time where we're just seeing mutants pop up everywhere with no explanation.
It's we're in a golden era.
It's so much fun.
It's so much fun. Even when it kind of sucks, Obi-Wan still had some fun moments.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett had some fun moments.
Yeah.
And
like when we complain, we're just complaining, but we complain with love.
Yeah, because I still like it because I'm still watching. Like if they announce, as much as I couldn't stand Obi-Wan, if they announce a season 2 tomorrow, I'm excited.
Yeah, you're watching
again. All right, well, hey, maybe they'll be all right. You know, like We saw all. I saw episode 3. I should have never seen anything Star Wars ever again after that debacle that was episode 2. I should have just been okay. I'm done.
But no, you go back.
No,
it's like it's like you have a child, which is your Star Wars fandom. Your Star Wars fandom is this little kid, and he's going to go to school, and sometimes he's going to bring home an A, and you're like, "That's my boy." Sometimes he brings home a D, and you're like, "Well, try harder next time."
And then sometimes
you still love your kid,
right? Sometimes, with like in the case of episode 2, he took a shit in class and threw it at students.
But you're not giving up for adoption. You're like, no, you know what? Hey, we don't take shits in class.
We don't throw them at other kids.
Try better,
because that's what episode 2 was.
The shit on the teacher's desk.
When they're on the space pigs, Eddie, I was like, I'm out. I should. What is happening? What on earth am I watching right now?
Just any of the dialogue before they go out to the arena was just like,
ooh, ouchies, ouchers. Well, it's fun. This is a long one today. Look,
we had a lot to cover.
A lot to talk about.
That doesn't even scratch the surface of Pooh Nanny.
That I was about to say. I mean, everything.
We could have done a whole ramble on Pooh Nanny.
I think. I mean, that is probably still the most important thing we experienced over these past few days. With that baby ain't black enough.
Now, if Pooh Nanny makes an appearance in Obi-Wan season 2,
it saves it completely. How does it not save?
This hooded figure walks out, pulls open his hood. It's Pooh Nanny.
He says, with the way you're dressed to go bowling, you got more. It looks like you got more than one ball on your mind. Mic drop. Mic drop. Well, sadly, Eddie, we have contractual.
Oh, man. Okay.
Nobody likes him.
Skeletor. Have you ever, I mean, we all have things that we love. Have you ever had something that you love that didn't quite live up to your expectations, but you still found a way to love it anyway?
Well, Eddie, that's a wonderful question, and I'm glad that you've asked me that. God, that's tough. One time, a woman came to Snake Mountain with a little blue baby, if you can believe that. And she was like, "This is yours, big ass." And Eddie, I promise you I pulled out, okay? I swear, of all the times, I pulled out the majority of the time. So there's no fucking way. And I'm like, no fucking way. But it was adorable as shit. So okay, you know what? Keep it here for a week, okay? I loved it. I ended up I hated it. Then I fell in love with it. And then I accidentally fed it to my panther when it was about, maybe 5 weeks old. And I miss it. So if that helps, and I followed my panther around till he shit out what was left. And I took that and I buried it in a place where, the little baby will forever be at peace. Because no one will ever find him because he's in the middle of He-Man's mother's pussy! Yeah, you get it? Because it's so big, no one's going to find his final resting place. I bet you didn't think I was going to go there.
I did, but...
Yeah, I think we all kind of do.
Wow. That's he fed his child to Panthera.
The Panther? As an X?
No. What is it?
What's that thing's name?
Panther was the Thundercat.
Panthro.
Panthro.
Right? What was Skeletor? I'm Googling it. Skeletor's... You know what sucks is he could help us right now, but he's not. You know what
Panther! You fucking idiot!
Okay. Jesus. All right. I guess he did hear us.
I guess he did.
Okay.
Panther.
Panther. Wow, what a clever name.
Not to be confused with Panthera.
Yeah, what a clever name, Skeletor.
Yeah.
Panther. That's
change the E to an O.
And that's your fucking cat. Jesus. Oh, okay. But
anyway.
Yeah, jeez. All right.
You can find Cody.
Cinesnob podcast right there.
I tried jizzing on the remains to see if I could bring it back to life. Nothing.
Okay.
All right. Eddie, working.
You can find me 5 days a week, patreon.com, The Ralph Report.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, Fridays, Ramble Radio. Wednesdays, Ramble Proper.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
She queefed a lot too. Do you know that? The mom, if I put in quotations, the mother, boy, that was a queefer if I've ever. Oh, my God, it's like letting go of a balloon. You know what I mean? You just like when you're filling up a balloon and you let it fly around the room. You know what I mean? That noise it makes.
Okay. Jesus fucking.
Well, she'd queef so much, I'd be like, one of the Jetsons. Are the Jetsons driving past here?
Okay. How does he know about any of it?
I guess he has a really good satellite dish
Man, fuck.
to get the Jetsons.
Okay. Same place you can find Cody and Eddie on the Ramble places. You can find me.
Yeah.
And also got my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Retro Rocha, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm back on YouTube. We've got the Smug Nerd every Monday with Eddie Pence. What else do you fucking need from us?
I don't know.
So have a great weekend. We want you to have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. We love you all. And we will see you Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have voting.
Hopefully.
I don't know. If it's up, go vote.
If it's, we'll let you know.
If it's up by today, by when you see this, go vote. All right. We love you guys. Stay safe, everybody.